So welcome everybody, congratulations on getting hired as bartenders here at the Trainwreck Bar and Grill. I'm Dimitrios Zirkos, I'm the hiring manager and also the training manager. Here at the Trainwreck Bar and Grill, it's very important that we understand the basic concepts of how to make certain types of drinks because we have a very strong clientele that's very particular about what kind of drinks they like. For example, we have a clientele that really enjoys traditional Cuban-style mojitos. And today I'm going to teach you how to make not only the Cuban-style mojito, but also a Monroe martini, which is also very popular amongst our ladies that come in the bar. And it's actually named after the Marilyn Monroe martini. So I'm going to start first. You make sure that you have everything that you need as ingredients-wise. So all your liquors and mixers, your shaker tin, really important with ice. Mojito, you definitely need lots of mint and limes and a muddle stick. So the muddle stick, I'll show you what I do with that in a second. You crush all the ingredients together. So first I'm going to start with making a traditional Monroe martini. So you add some ice in. Have your fruit cut. This is going to serve as not only a garnish, but also as part of the ingredient for the actual drink. So slice them into about 4s on each half, so you should get about 8 slices on each mojito, or each, lime. Add that in. You're going to muddle it, so you basically crush up the fruit, releasing all the fruit's juices and oils that's going to mix in with the alcohol. Do that just with all the ice is pretty much crushed together. Add your vodka. 4 count, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can add more if you need more. 2 count triple sec, which is basically a liqueur that adds flavor. So 1, 2. Then you add your cranberry juice. Not too much, this is just for color mostly. So a splash of that. Splash of sour mix. Mix it. Normally you shake this, but the glass is pretty small to do a mix, so you can shake it in this sense. A traditional martini should be shaken for at least 20 seconds, or stirred for at least 20 seconds to get all the ice mixed in. So that's about 20 seconds, we'll say. Grab your lime. This is the part where you garnish. You're going to rim your glass, the lime, so the juice is all the way around. Create a sugar tray. Take your rimmed glass. So you have a perfectly sugared rim. Take your drink. If you don't have a strainer, you can do it just like this. And spine one of your limes here. And you have a perfect Monroe martini. Alright, so next up, add some ice to the traditional mojito. Once again, get some limes in there, about 2 is perfect. Grab them in and pluck them at the very ends. You don't want any of the actual stick part to come out, just the leaves. Rip them. More depending on how much you like. Add a tiny bit of sugar for flavor. Never put simple syrup. Always raw sugar is the best for traditional. Muddle. 2 shots. 2 pour of triple sec, 4 pour of vodka or rum, usually rum on this one.
$540 children living without families. Of those, 115,000 can be adopted right now. They're just they're waiting for families right now. 1 million children in the US are actually adopted as we speak. One of the best quotes I ever heard that meant something to me about adoption is coming from Bob Constantine. And he quotes, "I have 4 children. 2 of them are adopted."
origami paper and the dollar bill in your hand. And during I am teaching how to make it, I will also show the steps on the screen, so you don't need to be afraid of getting lost or anything. So let's get started. My mouse is too big for me. Okay. So first of all, we use the dollar bill. The George Washington side down, and then fold the bottom edge until you see the word $1 on the other side. Do you have one? Okay. And then fold it in half on the vertical X. Crease well, like this. And unfold it. And then, yes. And then you will see the crease in the center, right? Okay. And then you will fold the right side and the left side to meet the crease in the center, like this. Okay. Can you do this? Like here, and then flip this to meet the center. Okay? And the left side, do the same thing. Okay. Good? Good. So next, we will flip here. You will make two diagonal folds at the top. So like here. Good. Okay. I see most of the people can do it. Okay. So next, do the same thing. Make two diagonal fold on the outer edge. Okay. And then you okay. And then make two tips, right side and the left side. Good? Everyone's doing good? Good. And then flip the paper over and your heart is complete. Good? Good. It looks nice. Perfect. Yours a little bit awkward, but it's okay. Okay, so next we're doing the heart with the origami paper. Although it's making a heart also, but the steps a little bit different. But it's simple also. So the color side down, like this, and then fold it in half, like a triangle. Okay. Good. And then unfold it, and then fold the other side in half also. No, unfold it first. Yes. And then fold the other half. Yes. Good. Good. And then after you fix well, unfold it like this. And you should have two creases on the paper, right? Okay. And then now, bottom point to meet at the top. Doing this. Okay. And then you see the crease in the center here. And then fold the right side to meet that crease in the center. Just like the previous one. Good. So do the left side as well. Do the same thing on the left side. Good. Good. And then turn the paper over to the other side like this. Yes. Yes. And then make the tip on the right side and the left side. Good. And then finally, we just need to fold the top point like this. Good. And your heart is done. And the origami heart is so famous in Hong Kong. We usually make a lot of origami heart and put them into a jar and give it to the people that we love. Because in our culture, we don't usually say I love you to our parents or friends or anyone that we cared about. So the origami heart is so useful for us to imply our love to the people that we love. And hopefully it will be useful for you in some days. And hopefully you will like this presentation. Thank you for listening.
This one's gonna be fun.
Okay, good.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Okay, so as you already learned some simple folds from Chloe's presentation, I'm going to show you how to fold the lotus flower. Now, the lotus flower is a little different. It's a repetitive fold so that you don't have to worry about learning new things. Once you get the first few done, you're good to go until we make the petals. And that's where you guys are going to have a lot of fun. Now, what's really important in Japanese culture is the lotus flower represents fortune. Because as you can see here, the lotus flower starts at the bottom here as a seed, and then as it grows, it has to go through all the muck and the dirt of a pond to go up through the water in order to bloom on the surface of the water. So it's really a transformation that happens, and so it's very meaningful for the Japanese culture. Now, you guys have your white paper here. Go ahead and fold it diagonally, just like this, in both directions, so you kind of have a pinwheel effect. And if you see this box over here, I'm going to update the fold so you guys can with us. So this is the fold that you're going to be making. And you want to have a valley fold for both of them, so it looks like this when you hold the paper up. Just like that. And I already have one started here, so that way I can, you guys can see a great example. All right. So, as you guys are getting that done, the next step is we're going to fold it into a square. So these four sides, the four corners, you're going to fold them into the center point where those two meet. So that way you have another perfect square. It's kind of like when you start to take those fortune tellers from when you were in middle school. So you're getting that started there. And so then that's these corners here folding inwards to the center. that. Does anybody have any questions so far? Good? Okay, so what's next is we're going to do that again. So this is where the repetitive steps happen. So you're going to fold them in one more time like this, all the way through. So you still have the X on the same side, like this. Yeah, see, you guys, you have it correct. No, you're gonna fold the corners into the center. So you're making the square one size smaller. Good? Okay. Now you're gonna do that one more time. So this is probably the easiest part, and it's also a reason why you guys can remember this, because you're doing the same fold multiple times. 3 is the golden number. It's very high in Japanese cultures, 3, as well as just the rule of thirds for photography, as well as balance and harmony. So we're going to continue with that. And then this is the part where you guys flip it over on the opposite side. So you have your X on one side like this, and you're going to flip it over so that way it looks blank. But you have a crease in the center that you can see from earlier when you made your diamond in the very first step, just like this. And then that's when you're going to do the same fold one more time, but on the opposite side. So that way you're going to end up having a line like this from your other side. So that way, it really does look like one of those fortune here. I'm going to pass this around so you guys can see. So with that, you're going to, I'm just going to make another one here. Super cool. So that way you guys have time to catch up. Now, what's also really awesome about origami is that it comes from I believe, kanji. So ori means to fold, and gami is paper. So generally, origami is a widely regarded thing in Japanese culture. And so there's also kurigami, which is where you use tape and cutting involved. But luckily for this class, you guys don't have to learn how to cut paper, because scissors can be dangerous. Alright, so now that everybody has theirs all folded, you're going to fold the corners here, so that way you have a little slight bend. So it's like that on all corners. So the corner here, so you have your corner, which is square, but you're going to bend it in so that way this part ends up being here instead of here.
On this side or this side?
You're going to fold it inwards. So that last fold that you bent in, you're going to do it that direction as well. So it's very, as I mentioned, repetitive fold. Now this is the part where everyone gets very confused. So we're going to start. These are our petals. We're creating our petals of our lotus flower here. And you're going to take it like this. Alrighty. So you're going to hold this down here like this, the little corner. And then you're going to take the petal that you folded earlier and turn it inside out. So the three repetitive folds that you made the first time you're going to be turning them inside out into the back. Yep, just so you hold the corner down and then just pull it all the way over. Yeah, there you go. That's your first petal. And so you're going to do that on all 4 sides. Like that. Got it over there, Hannah. And then you're going to do it one more time. So another rule of thirds. So you have your 4 like this. And then you're going to do it again. for the sides, so that way you end up having 8.
Stop looking at me.
You did really great earlier. You looked at my example and then I feel. Okay, and so then you do it one more time at the last pedal, so you end up having 12 pedals, which is divisible by 3. See, but when that happens, that's okay. We're currently using printer paper, which is a bit heavier. It's about a 0.7 weight comparative to origami paper, which is about a 0.6 or mostly 0.4 if you get really good washi paper, which is durable but also lightweight and thin. And so once you're done, you have something very similar to that. Good, you guys did great. Yeah. Right, and so that's how you make a lotus flower. And when you create these for people and you give them away as good fortune, so it's like wishing them well in their financial life. Okay, thank you.
You thin out the coconut milk with a little water, so it's a lighter coconut.
All right, so welcome to the first day of KPLU's rock lessons. Okay, for this class, you're going to need an electric guitar or acoustic guitar if you prefer. Any standard guitar will do. You're going to need an amp. Now mine's about half the size of my wall, so I didn't bring it in today, but any amp will do. Big or small, they come in all shapes and sizes. For this class, we are going to be using tablature. Now, tablature is an alternative to learning music notation and using like sheet music that you would see in band class or something. Tablature is a really easy tool that guitarists and other instruments can use, where it's basically a map. Now, here we have listed 6 lines. Each line marks a different string on the guitar. Now, starting from the smallest string down to the biggest string, we have E, B, G, D, A, and E. Now, to remember that, I like to think of Easter bunnies get drunk after Easter. So, just to help remember the strings. Now, on the guitar, we have the fretboard. Now, the fretboard is on the neck, and it's separated by these metal notches. Now, in between each metal notch, if you press, it will give a different sound. To remember, like a shortcut on the guitar, there's these white dots on the third, the 5th, the 7th, 9th, yeah, the 12th. Those are just quick little reference points for when you're moving your fingers to help remember where you are. Now, on tabs, this is why I like it. It tells you where to put your finger to get the desired music. So if you have a song that you really want to learn, but you don't want to learn like all the musical theory behind it, you can just look up the tabs online, and people like have websites just full of thousands of them. And I use it frequently because I'm actually teaching myself. And so on a song, I have C major written up here, where you would have your first, you would have the first finger on the first fret on the B string. As such, you would have your second finger on the second fret on the D string. As such. And then your third would be on the third, like that. So when you strum, it will make a C major chord. I also have listed the G major and the E minor. And as you can see, it just tells you where to put your fingers to get that sound. It can be a little hard when they list guitar solos or and such, but that's a little more advanced, so I'm just going to stick with the basic chords right now. With tablature, you save just a huge amount of time because you don't have to translate anything. If you want it in a different tune or in a different key, you could just look it up and it just tells you right where to put your fingers. The downside to tablature is that, as you can see, there's no indication for any kind of timing. So tablature is when you know the song and you want to learn it, which today the songs are pretty much available, on any smartphone or computer. So that's not much of a problem, which is why so many guitarists today actually can't read music, because you can just get away with this. So if you have the song in your head, like say you want to learn Folsom Prison Blues, or you want to learn some Creedence Clearwater Revival, anything like that, you can just look up the song and you can play them, just like that. If you want to be more serious about music, I do recommend you look into musical notation, musical theory, but for just starting out, I highly recommend just using tablature because it gets you started right away, and it's just a matter of practicing. So, you can learn any scale, you can learn any sort of key change just through tablature. Now, it is a matter of practice. You're not going to get it down right away. Well, you might, but most people practice for years, and then they start playing in bands, and they get all good. Everyone wants to do that, and I think that everyone should at least try to learn an instrument. And this makes it so easy that I think everyone, if they had a guitar, would just start practicing today. So I encourage all of you to at least try, or if you have a son or a daughter, this is a great way for them to just start practicing because it's so easy. So, thank you, and I wish you luck.
Awesome. What was the time? Show you the quick basics to fly fishing. Fortunately, we don't have days to go over it, but I'll show you just a few things. Here's a nice gentleman fly fishing, by the way. So, today, I'm going to start off by showing you what gear is needed to fly fish, as well as how to set up your rod so you can get out there, on top of how to cast, because I mean, if you can't cast, you can't fish. Also, the different types of casts. There's many, many different types for different situations you're in. And if we get lucky and have enough time, I'll show you how to find the fish and the different ecology behind fish and the insect life behind it as well. Alright, so, materials, what you need. This is a rod. This carbon fiber part is the actual rod part. This is the cork. This is the reel. And the rope is called the leader. Alright? And real quick, I'll show you how to set it up. So this is a 4-piece rod. That means it splits down into 4 separate sections. I left the last section off so I could show you. There you go, you extend it on. Make sure all the eye holes are going down the bottom of the rod, lining up with the reel. Okay, and an easy way to do this, to get the rope through all the holes, is take some slack out of the reel, out of the reel, like that, get a little slack, and you just bend it, just like that. You just you can actually kind of squeeze the edge, try to crease it if you want, but it won't happen. This rope is made to resist bending and whatnot. So you just stick it up right through those eyelet holes. Alright? And then you drag the string through and the rest. The very end, the end of your leader, it's called the tippet, or the tip, the line. And this is the lightest part. Then you attach the fly to the very end. Okay? And all the weight that goes into casting, which I'll show you in a little bit, is produced from the line itself.
not from the weight at the end of where the bait is. Okay? So, on top of the rod, you also need a net, which I do not have today. Unfortunately, one of my campers lost it the other day. But you need a net, so once you do angle those fish, you say, ah, you throw them in the net, take a picture of it, and then you can throw it back into the water. Also, waders, which are waterproof pants. And this guy, they're kind of hard to see, has a pair of waders on. So it allows you to walk into the middle of the lake without getting any water on you, or if you do get water on you, it keeps you warm. It's basically like a bodysuit. Also, you have to have boots. Boots are very important, especially if you plan to get in the water. If you go down to the Nooksack or rivers that are fast flowing, and you're having to lean against rocks or getting pushed around by current, these have a foam on the bottom. And this foam adds traction to the rocks, so you can pretty much jump all over the slippery rocks and have fun, hug Luke, whatever makes you happy. All right. Let's see. So I showed you how to set up the rod. Now I'm going to teach you a cast. So, see, it's kind of hard in this building because it's not very tall. But like I mentioned before, with casting, all the weight is in the string. It's not in the end of the rod. So you have to get about, a good starting is about 4 feet of orange leader, right? And you start with, it's basically, it's as if you're moving just your arm. It's all in right here. You don't move your wrist. That's a big thing. Don't flick it. So, and you let the momentum move the line for you. So you go up, and I'll sit down. Still see the rod. So you go up, you stop right here, straight up. And you let the leader go all the way back. And the rope, the leader weight, once it's all the way back, will bend the back of your rod. Once you can feel that bend, then you pull it forward. Now, when you're casting, it's not about how hard you can flick it at the end. It's all about acceleration and stop. So you start slow up here, you stop right here. You start slow here, you stop right there. And that will bring the line to go, and it will bring it back. And once it stops, then it lets the line go all the way out. So as he's doing a forward cast, he's actually going to bring this one back in. He's letting this one go out a little. The smaller the loop, the better. It's hard to explain because I cannot show you in this building. But, so you go like this, and you start back here, you go forward, back, and as you go, I think I can do it in here, do a little cast for you. As you go, you have the extra leader in your hands, right? So you're going forward, back, and if there's more room, you can see that the end of the line only has a little loop at the end. That's perfect. The smaller the loop, the straighter the line's extending. You're going to bring it forward. There's another cast. If there's trees behind you, that's the thing about fly fishing, that there's always lots of bushes around you, or a lot of times it's always in different situations. There's all different sorts. The goal of fly fishing is to imitate the bug. And I forgot to mention, as I passed out to you, were the flies. Each one of these little flies are to imitate a certain kind of bug. And that's why it's important to know the insect ecology and the fish and the different kinds of fish you're going for. You need to do research before you go out and just start fishing. Because also, if you don't know what you caught, you can get fined. If you take a fish that is endangered, it's a felony. Like if you take a brook trout, those are not allowed to be taken out of the water. I mean, you can catch them, but you have to release them. So, if you look, I have a few on my hat. If you look at them, they're supposed to imitate bugs. Can anybody suggest what kind of bug this is meant to imitate?
Dragonfly?
There you go. Yes, these are meant to imitate a dragon or a damselfly. So, you have to imagine your fish. You're viewing everything from underneath, right? So you look up, and these little elk hairs, which elk and moose hair float, these little elk hairs look like the wings, right? So the little bugs, fish is swimming by, this thing lands on top. This will float because it has the elk hair. And so you're thinking, oh man, that looks like a great damselfly. That's when they go for it. That's also why, I'll show you while you're retrieving, there's different methods of retrieving a rod. But back to what I was saying prior about casting. There's another cast for when there's bushes and whatnot. It's called a roll cast. So basically what you do is you take the end of your rod, you go all the way back, you go straight up, right? And then this is the only time that you can actually do a flick of the wrist. You do a powerful flick of the wrist. And that will get your line out front for you without having to go back. So those are two of the reels, or two of the casts that you can make. When you reel it, you put one finger on top of the line, right? And you have to remember, the last 6 feet of the leader are clear line with a bug on it. You're trying to imitate a bug on the water. So you pull it in slowly. Some fishermen try to wiggle it a little bit, make it dance around. Some pull it in fast. It depends on the fish. You have to be able to read it. I generally pull it in at a medium speed. I like to pace it back and forth, make it wiggle a little, of course. And once you get your fish, you just keep pulling in, keep your rod low. And you just, once you have a fish, right, pull back real quick, and that sets the hook into the lip. And so then, because none of these hooks have barbs on it. Barbs are the little pointy thing at the end of the hook point. None of them have barbs because too many fly fishermen have caught themselves in the back of the head or back of the arms, and or when they're getting it out, they catch their finger and it's a pain in the butt to get a barb out of your finger. So, last thing I'll show you, once you catch a fish, you pull it, put them in the mouth, and you let them go a little bit. And then you pull back, and you let them go. It's kind of like you're fighting with the fish, but you're just kind of tiring them out. And slowly you angle them in, pull it up, and there's your beautiful fish. Drop them in your little net, and ta-da, you have just angled your first fish, fly fishing style. So if you guys would like to learn anything more, I know it was a very fast and quick lesson. If you'd like to learn anything more or go on a trip sometime, you all have my information, and you're more than welcome to hit me up, and I am more than willing to tell you anything about fly fishing that you would like to know. Now, you kids, I hope you have a wonderful trip or journey hiking, and make sure you listen to your instructors and have a great weekend. Thank you.